saw the light. Woo! I love it. I love it. Good morning, everyone. It's good actually to see you here today. It's good to see you back this Sunday. So I guess I didn't scare too many people off last Sunday. So it means we're doing good so far. To see how it goes. Last week we started our prosperity series called Keys to the Kingdom by David Orban Ritz. It's a 7-week series, and we're doing a class that goes with that. And that's to help each and every one of you have the opportunity to unfold more true prosperity and abundance in your lives. We began last week by listening to these words of Jesus, which are in Luke 12:32, which is here somewhere. Here. Do not fear, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. And this is what I hear in that. The message is for us today. It says it's our Father's good pleasure to give us the kingdom. That's what that really means for us today. Thus, abundance, it's our spiritual birthright. You and I do not have to earn abundance or otherwise prove to God that we are worthy of this great gift. Now, we still may have to teach our children how to get good grades, but we don't have to worry about our birthright of divine inheritance, and they certainly don't have to worry about that. For it's our Father's good pleasure to give us the kingdom of God, to give us unlimited possibility, to give us true abundance. All we need to do is say yes. Just say yes. Yes, God, I'm open to that in my life. And how do we say yes to a greater abundance? Remember, true prosperity, as our co-founder Charles Fillmore defines it, prosperity is the consciousness of God as the abundant, everywhere present resource, unfailing, ready for all who open to it through faith. Now, it's not those small green pieces of paper in our pocket. And prosperity is not how much money we have in our IRA or our 401k. It's not how new a car we drive. It's not how fancy are the clothes we wear. It's consciousness. It's not something material. And I remember the first time I heard that, or maybe it was the first time it really sunk in, I was surprised. It was truly a new thought. I'd never quite thought of it that way before. It's consciousness. It's consciousness. Prosperity is consciousness. Get this. It's the most important thing in this entire teaching. Well, at least it is week 2, so most important so far. But it's consciousness. And isn't that what we're all here for? To open our minds, open our hearts, open our beliefs to new thoughts. To understand anew that in a new way, these words from Jesus Christ, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and then all these things, all these other things shall be added to you. All those other things come afterwards. Seek first the kingdom. So prosperity is consciousness. It's the awareness of God as the unfailing, abundant source of our good. Now, many of us have heard about promises in the Bible, and our more conservative theological brothers and sisters have done a good job of painting those promises as available to only available to certain people, or only those who behave or believe in a certain way, such that many of us don't really pay attention to those as being real promises. But there's a few in there that we would do well and really benefit from by taking them truly to heart. In Luke 6:38, give, and it will be given to you. Give, and it will be given to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over will be put into your lap. For with the same measure that you use, it will be measured back to you. For with the same measure that you give, it will be given back to you. So I invite you to come with us as we go along these keys to the kingdom, these steps to opening to a truer abundance and prosperity in your lives. I invite you to still come to our class. As Paul mentioned, our second meeting is tomorrow night. And so you can still start the class at this point. After tomorrow night's session, the class will actually be closed because we're going to be going deeper and deeper and deeper into our training. In describing this class, David Ritz says, it's a course that offers a methodology for building a greater awareness of the presence, guidance, and activity of Spirit in our daily life. So do you want to build a greater awareness of the presence of God in your lives? Okay, good. So this is on, right? Yeah, good. Okay. We're working along here. All right, that's good. Well, here is a way, a path to help you seek and find awareness, a greater awareness, a deeper awareness of the kingdom of God. For that is the only true path where all the other things of the world are given to us. David says it this way: such an awareness is the cornerstone of a true prosperity consciousness. So this week we're going to talk about visioning, about holding a vision. And we can begin by remembering Spirit is the essence and the substance of all that exists. Everything in the universe is in a continual process of evolution into a higher order and state of being, into a higher order of expression of more spirit, more love, more abundance. So this includes each and every one of us. Personally, each and every one of us, I'm sure at one time or another, has sensed inside us a divine movement within. Sometimes we may be looking for a little more satisfaction out of life. Other times we may have felt the urge to live more fully, to be more, to express more, to have more, to give and receive more. In many ways, this divine urge within is probably what led you to the teachings of unity. It's probably what brought you here, actually, to this very church this morning. And those who choose to participate in our class study and thus experience the keys to the kingdom and going to a deeper level, this divine urge within is probably why they're doing that. But I have to say, that divine urge probably didn't have very much to do with all those cookies and cupcakes you ate this week. I mean, that's something different. Just saying. But it's not a desire to have more. It's really a desire to be more. Be more creative, more loving, more whole, more free, a greater awareness. There it is, of true prosperity. It's calling us. It is the universal, divine urge. It's insistent, too. Because it's always present, always moving into a greater expression and manifestation through us. Yet, at the same time, our response to this divine urge is completely up to us. We can individualize this divine urge by giving it our unique personal expression. So it's up to us to decide how and in what ways this higher expression of God moving through us will look and how it will actually feel in our lives. So the plan and the desire for greater good and a more abundant manifestation of Spirit moving through us already exists. The plan, the divine urge already exists, but the details of how it moves through us is really up to us. The kingdom of God is within you. It is within you. It is within me. That's what Jesus told us. So the field of infinite possibilities is already within us. It's already been given to us. And so now it's up to us to choose, to answer the call. and choose how much and which of these infinite possibilities that will allow into our lives, that will allow to manifest in and through us. In other words, our work envisioning a greater me, envisioning a greater you, is just discovering or becoming aware of the higher possibilities and of our inner magnificence, and doing the work to bring them forth. But we don't have to create them. It already exists. They already exist within us. I used to think that I have to create all of that I have to figure everything out and create it. But no, man, it's much easier. I mean, that really slowed me down in this process. I was like, that's a lot of work to do. But it actually already exists within us. We just need to open ourselves to it and let it flow through us. Our vision, or the best expression of ourselves that we are aware of, is those details. It's our personal conception of our own highest possibility. So we're in our second week of the Keys to the Kingdom, and our work this week is to find out for ourselves what our concept of true abundance really looks like, or it already exists within. As David said it in the course materials, your purpose is to enable you to find your personal vision of true abundance. Notice his words on the slide. It's your purpose to enable you to find your personal vision of abundance. In other words, it's already within you. It's already there. We just need to open ourselves to it. So I want to talk a little bit about the visioning process in a moment, and we'll have a small time to practice in our meditation a little later. But we want to look at the nature of some of the obstacles that can get in the way of having us move into a greater vision, a greater concept of abundance in our lives, the vision of a greater you. Now, just like I said last week, there's good news and maybe not so good news about this. The good news is that a powerful and wealthy potential already exists within us, just waiting to be discovered, accepted, and then activated. Just waiting for you to turn it on, to step into the flow and let it move through you, through me. Now, the not so good news is that we actually have a lot of practice in allowing our limiting beliefs and fears to block our awareness of these higher potentials and abilities and possibilities, thus making it difficult for us to even think of a greater life beyond our current limitations. In walking the path of the keys to the kingdom, we can expect that these long-held fears and beliefs will come to the surface. And we'll have thoughts like, you can't change this. Kind of like that song, you can't touch this. Nah, ain't gonna happen. This is just who you are. Don't waste your time. Maybe other people can do that, but you can't do that. Those will come up. And as Richard Bach pointed out in his wonderful book titled Illusions, and I encourage you to read it if you haven't had a chance to. It's very uplifting, very inspiring. But Bach puts it this way: argue for your limitations, and they're yours. So what is important to understand is that our greater opportunity, our higher life, awaits us on the other side of those feelings and limitations. It's on the other side of those. We just need to work our way through them and push them. It's like our comfort zone, if you will, if you thought of it as a zone, if you will, and a wall around it. We need to get to that wall and just be willing to push through it. But we can do that. We can do that. Another way of describing this visioning process is it's a process of moving beyond. And a way to think of our comfort zone is to use the thought of a thermostat, like a thermostat in your house, where you turn it up when you want it to be a little warmer, or maybe down a little bit if the temperature is just fine. And when we look at that thermostat as our comfort zone, We don't like it when it gets too cold. In other words, we don't like it when life seems to be restricting us or preventing us from doing the things we want to do. You kind of think that like at the low end of the thermostat, of the setting on the thermostat. But we also don't like it when it gets too hot, when our fears and doubts about who we are and maybe what we're capable of can become too strong. It's like a sort of upper and lower limit. You see that? Like a comfort zone, just like a thermostat. So our work in visioning, our work in opening ourselves to greater abundance, to a truer prosperity, is to remove the upper limit, is to push the thermostat way on up, is to call forth and begin to bring into reality the greatest you. By first seeing it, by visioning a greater you, imagining you as you truly are, a divine child of a living and loving Almighty Spirit. And as you can choose to truly be. David says, a vision is an idea that transcends present circumstances and known limitations. So continuing with the thermostat metaphor, when we raise the upper limit as far as it can go, or as far as we can conceive that it may go, because it's in our beliefs, in our understandings, we may only then begin to experience real power as freedom, wholeness, balance, growth, but we will be challenged by our fears. And Marianne Williamson had some wonderful thoughts about our fears. Our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, just like children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God. That is within us already. And it's not just in some of us. It's in everyone. So let's talk a little bit about the art of visioning. In visioning, what we're really doing is we're following our inner guidance. We begin in meditation and we ask Spirit within to show us our highest possibility. We listen for guidance. We listen for new feelings, new dreams, new possibilities. And we ponder in our heart, what do we want to be and how do we want to live? Not how much money we want. What do we want to be and how do we want to live? We listen to our heart and follow our bliss. And so our dreams and ideas can bring us the greatest sense of happiness, sense of aliveness, and sense of joy. And those are the very possibilities that Spirit desires to bring forth through us. That's why they're there. And as we vision a greater you, you can let yourself think big, for the power of God within you is truly unlimited. It's truly beyond our conceptions of what is available to us. Unlimited in the good that it can create in us, through us. And true abundance can touch every area of our lives. The infinite expression of God moving through us can be expressed. And in unity, one way for us to think about that is to call them, that infinite good is God qualities. Qualities of God, such as love, power, wisdom, peace, faith, joy, beauty. All of manifest form in our world is an outer expression of these inner God qualities moving through us. or it can also be manifested as not an expression of that. So as we wish to manifest true abundance and to bring into expression in our lives more God consciousness, we can think of abundance in terms of these God qualities expressing in and through us into our lives. For example, in the area of health, our physical, emotional, mental well-being, abundance might look like the expression of the God qualities of wholeness, of beauty, of harmony, of balance, of energy, of vitality. That's health. In the area of relationships, for example, the quality of our interactions with others, true abundance might look like love, wholeness, harmony, acceptance, authenticity, those God qualities brought into expression. Because remember, we don't really want those pieces of green paper or those little round coins. We want what those will bring us, right? It's not the material. We want the feelings. So when we vision for abundance in a major area of our life, say health, we follow our inner guidance to feel in our hearts what our desires are. And we look for the God qualities of our heart that we want to express in health, for example, in that particular area of our lives. When we do that, we will discover mental ideas and images that are expression of our own personal individual details of what that would look like. That's our vision for our greater self. And the more we practice visioning, our visioning will clarify naturally, and more insights of our highest potential will come through to us and then out into expression. So let us begin this week to hold the vision of a greater you, the vision of a more abundant and prosperous you. Because it is eternally true that it is the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom.